It's time for the top 10. Top 10 Arrow films. But before I do that, I was out in bed today and I'm looking for something. I found some things for possible birthday present. I actually found one thing for Lola's basement. His birthday's in October, and it was on his list of things he hadn't seen and didn't have. Yeah, it's harder to get, but when I open it up to check it out, it looked perfectly fine from this side. Although I thought that's kind of plain, but you know. And then I turned it around. Broken all the way through. Back to the drawing board. So, without further ado, here's my top 10. So here we go with another top 10 list, because basically I kind of felt like doing a list tonight. I had planned to do a few random reviews and feature reviews, but something different. I haven't done top 10s in a bit, so I wanted to kind of like mix it up and do a few. So here we go, top 10 Arrow video releases that I have. And I don't have a lot. So getting 10 wasn't that hard, but I did have to take some off of the list that surprised me. Number 10 is Vamp. Vamp was just a really, really great release. And it's a movie that I didn't particularly get into the first time I saw it. It wasn't until later on, because I saw this one when it came out, that I really got into the film and actually appreciate it for what it was. And this is a really great release, by the way. Introduction by Robert Rusler, D.D. Pfeiffer interviews in here. Basically, there's a thing on interview with Richard Wenk. There's just some really cool stuff, but most of all, Dracula Bites the Big Apple, which is a short film by Richard Wenk, who made this movie. Was pretty much the thing that got him a Vamp. And Dracula Bites the Big Apple is a really funny short film. Definitely worth checking out, and it was one of the reasons that I pulled the trigger and bought this one. Next up is no surprise. That it would be Phenomena. Phenomena is a really, really cool release, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. It's an Argento movie that gets a little bit of hate sometimes, but I gotta say, this is one that really is a really fun one. There's a great making of it here, by the way. I really like the transfer on this, and for the Arrow videos, this is probably one of the better ones. I really like these cases. It's such a shame to get rid of them. These are the way I want my videos. Blu-ray or DVD. These cases should be like that. Next up is Inferno. And Inferno is just a great classic Argento film. Definitely one of my tops. And the whole Suspiria Three Mothers trilogy. You know, I enjoy them for what they are. And what they are classics. Even the worst one. I'm looking at you, Mother of Tears. Still. This has a great, on the second disc we got De Argento and Eye for Horror. It's a great documentary on Argento's career. Definitely, if you're going to get some Arrow videos, this is one of the ones to get. Especially if you're an Argento fan. Now this movie here may seem a little bit of a strange pick for a top Arrow video. Because Beyond Reanimator, we're going to be honest here and admit it's not the greatest film. But you know what is really, really great? Is that, TJ, you'll be able to really appreciate this. This is another Dude Designs cover. Yep. This is the one that he had done for Arrow Video. When I talked to Jeffrey Combs last year, he was pretty much, actually no, earlier this year I talked to Jeffrey, that he had not seen this version of the film. So he was kind of interested in learning more about it. He did not know, he was not aware of it. There is a great hour-long documentary on the entire Reanimator franchise, including the guy talking about movies that didn't get made that he wanted to make. It's really cool. This is signed and will never leave my collection. This is one of the ones that got me wanting Arrow in the first place, and that is Savage Streets. That was a good 2 disc edition Savage Streets put out by another company. Can't remember what it is right now, but this pretty much has all the features from that one, and what an amazing cover, huh? Linda Blair. Gorgeous in this. Of course, the original cover's on the other side. This has some really great features on here. I really love Savage Streets. It's a fun revenge flick. Early Linnea Quigley, and I'm a big Linnea Quigley fan from back in the day. Very cool girl, Night of the Demons. Still don't have a great movie. Next up was Pieces. I originally wanted to get the Arrow Video slasher films. There's a few of them that I don't have, and I'm a big slasher fan. If you look at my collection, slasher pretty much is the top thing. I'm an 80s guy. I was born for slashers, and this one is really, really hilariously cool. Again, every time I show this one, I talk about the chainsaw in the scene in the elevator, and bears talking about it. It's just a funny sequence. This whole movie is fun, sleazy, just honestly. If you haven't seen the freaky thing that is Pieces, go and see Pieces. It's really, really cool. Next up, probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Argento films. And I definitely know it's my son's favorite Argento film, and that is Tenebrae. Great classic film. Unseen World of Tenebrae, de Argento. There's some really cool stuff there. The soundtrack to Tenebrae is amazing. I love this. Claudio Simonetti did the soundtrack. That's the Goblin, of course. Just really, really good stuff. I used to have when I had my iPhone, I had the Tenebrae soundtrack on my iPhone. And I used to listen to it a lot, especially when I was walking down the road or reading, stuff like that. Great creepy soundtrack. Next up is one that almost did not make the list, but because of my slasher roots, it had to be on here. Slaughter High. Again, one of the movies I wanted it for, but one of the worst covers I've ever seen Arrow do. I'm not sure who did this cover or the other cover, but neither one of them are very good. I do ever like the movie. It is pretty cheesy and pretty fun, and highly recommend it. I haven't watched it with the commentary on yet, so I'm probably going to do that pretty soon. Next up, Sleepless. I really like the cover of this, and this one actually is nice enough to give us the Masters of Giallo logo, something that he dropped soon afterwards, and it's really a shame that they did. I'm not sure if they did that because it's shameless or not, but I really think you should have kept it. Sleepless is a highly underrated Argento Giallo, and unfortunately stuff like, there's a bunch I still don't have in my collection. I don't have Deep Red, I don't have what's the name of it? I got Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's another one they did. Christmas one. My Christmas guy. But this one here was like one of the cool ones that I liked it. I really like this one here. There's also, I think this movie here is where they got one of the actors from Dracula 3D. Or was it Card Player? Either way, Dracula 3D is probably the worst Argento movie that was ever made. Hands down. I mean, the guy's a genius, but have you seen Dracula 3D? I speak to you out there. Comment down below if you've seen Dracula 3D. And you know what I mean when I say Grasshopper. Nice, it's praying mantis, but you know, kung fu thing. Argento. What the hell? Next up is another Argento. Of course, I grew up on Argento. I went to a theater when I was a kid, and they didn't show a lot of the big mainstream films, but they did show a lot of Jackie Chan before Jackie Chan was a household name, and they showed a lot of Argento and the low-budget slashers and stuff like that. I remember going there to see Humorette. Not Humorous, that's a Joe Crawford film. Humongous? Yeah, I think that's it. Canadian slasher film pretty dark, set on an island, and Terror at the Opera. How did I go from that to that? Well, obviously I didn't see this one at the theater because it's closed down by then, but I did start seeing stuff like Deep Red and, of course, Fonderosa and Tenebrae and stuff like that in the theater there. But he used to come with posters too, by the way. They used to give you posters when you went to the movie. This is one, though, that I had when it was out on VHS. You couldn't get it around here, so to get a good version of it, I actually had to send away to a company that gave me basically, I got the VHS, and it was on colored paper with the name and a synopsis on the back of it. I kid you not, it was, and it cost me like $25 pre-tax and shipping, so it's like maybe $35 when I bought it, just to get it, and it was not like the greatest picture quality either. So seeing this one here, this is a pretty cool movie. Now, if you're not a fan of eyeball violence, then you probably don't want to look at that one. Supposed to be that one. Not a lot on here, but what's on here is really good, really cool. And what I like is that they give you, in this one here, both versions of the film. You get Terror at the Opera and Terror at the Opera. So what you're getting here, when you get this one, it's a fully uncut version. There are two international version with choice of original Italian or something moved over there. Kitty cat did something. Oh, or the US edit, and you basically get to choose the original track or the dub. And for the US edit, it's the Cannes dub audio. So, maybe I gotta rewatch this one again. Alright, that is my top 10 Arrow videos, and I am going to go and check on what the cat put over there, because it'll give me a chance to go grab some tea as well. I've been waiting to do that tonight, and I haven't done it yet. Maybe in my next video I'll be able to tell you what the cat knocked over. But right now, that was my top 10 Arrow video list that I own. The ones that didn't make the list were the Card Player, All End of Death, Stendhal Syndrome, which, by the way, Stendhal Syndrome is the what we would call the honor, the one that almost made the list. Birth, Crystal Plumage, and of course on the Arrow. Unfortunately, I only have the Aerodrome versions of them, but the Gates of Hell trilogy. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'm really curious about that cat. It's time for tea.